Sometimes I like floating around on Etsy just to see what patterns I can find. The other week I found this adorable jumper. Now I love jumpers, pinafores, private school uniforms, but I don't have much of that in the way of my personal wardrobe. One of my favorite clothing memories when I was a little girl is a red jumper and white button-down shirt my mom made for me that I used to wear all the time. I think I know which fabric I'm going to use for both the shirt and the actual jumper. The two different pieces are going to work well with other clothing that I have, and then I'll be able to mix and match them. And like I said before, I do want to start wearing more jumpers and pinafores and things of that nature, so I feel like this will be a really solid basic to introduce that concept to my wardrobe. So I'm very excited to begin. Let's go. I'm a little concerned about how complex the shirt is. There are 9 separate pieces for this particular shirt, and I didn't realize, but I guess the button placket area is covered, so you don't actually see the buttons. There are lots of pleats. There's actually pleats in the jumper around the skirt, which makes sense, and then there's pleats on the sleeves too. I don't normally do pleats. Normally I'm used to doing gathers, so I'm pretty excited about doing the pleats. I think it'll be nice and structured and hopefully lay nicer, because I generally have less success with having gathers lay nicely. So I'm going to cut out the shirt pattern now, and then I'm going to start sewing the jumper, and then I'm going to see if I even have thread to match the shirt, and then I'll get started on the shirt. I think sewing this jumper is making me sad, or I could just be a little sad and I happen to be sewing a jumper. I'm not sure, but I think it's the latter. Basically, I really like this pattern a lot, but I'm having problems and I feel like it's affecting my enjoyment of the project. I thought that making pleats would be an answer to my problem with regards to my inconsistent and chunky looking gathers. Whenever I create gathers on a skirt, I just can't get it to be beautiful little tiny uniform gathers. They're kind of like big ones, small ones, short ones, tall ones. Dr. Seuss. With the pleats, it was going to be a systematic, almost mathematical experience, and clearly I failed that math test. When I was done the pleating process and put on my waistband was much shorter than the pleats. So either I skipped a couple pleats or I didn't make the pleats the right size, but it wasn't matching up. Then we have an issue with the zipper. I was not sure how to install the zipper the way they told me to, so I'm making it up. I've installed the zipper a couple times now and it kind of looks like hot garbage. I tried to put the zipper in and hide it, and that looked awful. So I went in and put an exposed zipper in. I am better at doing exposed zippers, but I exposed this part down here as well, and for me it's distracting and disturbing. I thought about putting a patch over it because I decided to keep this fluke situation here on the front of my dress and almost make it like a highlighted feature. And I thought, well, if there's a patch on the front, I can put a patch on the back. But it's gonna affect the function of the zipper. The top of the waistband is not laying even. That kind of stuff drives me nuts. It's also not as tight as I want it to be. It's a bit loose. But by the time I got to that part of the waistband, I was so far deep into the project that I would literally have to undo everything and basically start over. And I just thought, you know what? Maybe next time. Not now. Because I like this pattern so much, I wanted it to be perfect, and it is far from perfect in my opinion. I'm just trying to reorganize my priorities and chalk this up to more of a learning experience than maybe a garment I'm gonna wear over and over again. I was just too unhappy with the way the jumper was turning out. I was really sad that I enjoyed the pattern a lot, but hated the way it fit me. And I was very intimidated to undo the waistband because basically I feel like I was gonna have to almost start from scratch. So I thought, I'll just let this project go, and maybe next time I will sew a jumper that fits me. But you know, after a couple days of hemming and hawing and spinning my wheels, I decided to take apart everything. I took apart the waistband, I undid the straps, I undid the full seam down the back, I removed the zipper for the third time, and I ended up remaking it, and it actually fit. Oftentimes I will disassemble a project and not really know how to put it back together successfully. I really went ahead and made this a piece that I like, enjoy, will use consistently over and over again. So to me, it feels like an absolute triumph. I'm really glad I took that leap of faith and disassembled everything, and I just couldn't be happier with the results. Now, sewing the shirt was a different story. I don't like the shirt, and that's okay. I feel okay with not liking the shirt. I did not feel okay with not liking the jumper. I don't know why, but I've made my peace with not being happy with the shirt. I was so confused by this convoluted shirt pattern, but you know, it's okay. It looks good under the jumper. I'm all bundled up. I'm ready to go outside. It's very cold. I'm going to film the reveal, and hopefully it'll all come together nicely. Was fun. It was absolutely freezing. I think I'm gonna have to start sewing a coat with every project that I make because I cannot take these brutal winter winds just whipping through my super thin shirts. Overall, it was a blast. I received a drone for a birthday present recently, and my 10-year-old and I I tried to figure out how to fly it today, and I think she did really well. I really like this jumper. Like I mentioned before, I'm not a fan of the shirt, but I really liked working with cotton versus the linen. It was a nice contrast. So this was super easy to deal with, whereas linen I feel like almost does its own thing, and I politely ask it to do something, but it decides to do something else. So it was fun to work with the cotton. I'm gonna see if I can get more of this fabric to make a shirt pattern that I actually like, because I think this teal color goes really beautifully with the navy. I love the jumper, it fits great, I'm super happy. I put the zipper in for a third time's the charm. If you've hung around for the whole video, I deeply appreciate your support. I'm happy that you enjoyed it. If you could hit the like button down below and subscribe, it means the world to me. And until next time, can't wait to see you again. Bye!